Alright, hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Enthusiast Experiment. I am your host Mike, and today we're taking a look at another mini jumbo-esque kind of pencil. Aha, there it is. Let's check it out. Man, those cores on these things are just so freaking cool. Alright, there it is. The My Pal from Musgrave in Shelbyville, Tennessee, the 2020, and that big fat core there. Let's set this down. I'll show you a look at the packaging on this as well. Won't take long. Nice and simple. So just a bag here, has them all popped in. No branding, no marketing, nothing. Just a way to ship them basically. So we'll set that aside and get into it. Boom. Alright, so this is the Musgrave My Pal Mini Jumbo Pencil. It is a graphite core with what they call medium soft core. So, you know, I guess kind of one of those in-between hardnesses. Wood, again, I'm not exactly sure, but you could definitely tell it's not like a, I wouldn't say that's a cedar. Probably something more on the inexpensive side. You can actually see where the two halves were joined, and that it almost looks like completely different woods, but not a big deal on something this cheap. The body is round, and it's to me it looks like a black body and white lettering, but online they say it's a dark blue, and actually in this lighting, when it's just right, you can kind of see that hint of blue. But if you were to just like pick this up, I mean, it looks black, but it's just barely, maybe even on the end you can kind of see, yeah, there's a little bit of a bluish hint there, but it's super dark. And I guess maybe different batches will differ, so maybe yours looks a little bit bluer than mine. Not a big deal. No ferrule, no eraser, no end cap, and $2.25 for a 12-pack, so extremely affordable. And they originate out of the good old US of A in Shelbyville there. So the erase test, laid down a little bit of graphite and used our friend the Boxy. It did a good job. For the smudge test, wrote test and smudged it. And then we laid down a graphite of different thicknesses to check out the shading abilities. So some of the pros, it is super cheap. So this, if you're wanting to check out that mini jumbo or jumbo-esque size like I was talking about in a couple of videos, this is one that you could do it and not feel, you know, bad giving the rest away if it's not your thing. I like the design. It feels very unique. And as far as what the pencil is, it does have a lot of writing, but it's actually pretty clean in the writing that it has, so there's nothing else other than that, which I really like. No barcodes, none of that stuff, so that's really cool. And just the aesthetic is really neat, I think. The core is freaking huge, so that's really neat. Allows you to write for a long time, plus it just looks great, especially when sharpened with this guy, the Deli, which we've already talked about. And the graphite is actually centered, so that's really nice too. On a pencil this inexpensive, to have the core be centered as well as it is. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn close. Erasability, did a great job when paired with the Boxy there, so that's really nice. Gives you confidence to be able to, you know, if you don't cross out your words, you can get rid of them really easily. Smudge test did really well actually for being this dark also. Did not, you know, perform better than the spangle that we looked at before, so that's really, really cool, really nice. You don't have to worry about smearing it like I do when I'm right-handed, but I still smudge across all of my lettering, so it does really well with that. It is a dark pencil, so it gives you that nice dark bold line. Tonal variety in the shade test was actually pretty good. You guys could probably do a little bit better here. That might have been some of the clay and the graphite kind of changing the shade, but it gets pretty dark and gets pretty light, so that's nice. And the larger size, again, as we talked about before, it's really comfortable and fun to throw in something of a different size, and just kind of allows your hand to open up a little bit more. This is funny, I'm holding it with my left hand, I'm not even left-handed. And then the wood, at least on this side here, is cool looking. Reminds me of the Nataraj pencils in their wood core. Just looks pretty neat. The graphite is a little bit scratchy in some places, so similar to that the spangle that we looked at. Unfortunately, it goes through patches of being really smooth and then going through some patches of being a little bit more scratchy. That might be due to having a core this thick. That might be kind of necessary to keep it from breaking off all the time. Not exactly sure, but that's just kind of like a bummer. You could see, like right there, I was talking about, I kind of almost see like it was probably a little bit scratchy, like right here. The production consistency, and again, that blue finish, so just meaning like mine is like really, 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 really dark blue, almost black, and then, you know, not being finished on the end and that kind of stuff. But for a pencil of this price, not a deal breaker. Just something I would point out. And again, no end cap. That's purely aesthetic and purely my preference, but Figured I'd point it out because I've done it for other pencils. And you can see, I just want to point out really close there, you can kind of see what I was talking about, like right here, about it kind of looks like there is that inconsistency in the graphite. So you can kind of see how it goes like dark, 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 light, and then lighter. I think it got a little bit of chunk of clay or in there or something like that to get scratchy. But we'll get this out of the way and write it in the book. My pal. All right. That's the My Pal 2020. There you go. Looks a little bit lighter than the Spangle in this light, but we can zoom out and let you guys take a look at it compared to some of the other ones there. Not too shabby. It's a fun little pencil. And like I said, if you're looking to dabble in the larger sizes without dropping a whole bunch of money on pencils you would, if you don't like the size you're afraid to give away, I think this is probably one of the ones for you to try at a good price you don't have to worry about. But I appreciate all of you swinging by. I would really appreciate if you like, share, and subscribe so we can grow this channel together. And until we meet again, I hope you have a great day.